You know, people, I don't understand how is it that American citizens for the country are trying to help these immigrants to stay here when you know that they're not being welcomed by the government. It's been said that even before this started that there was going to be a mass deportation on immigration. And they should have just left willingly and not create all this chaos, right? Here in the country and think they're everywhere. But you know, that's the government fault for letting them in. The only way they got in here because, you know, they found a way to get in or they found support and they found a way in the system that they could get by and stay in the country. But now all that is done, you know, they had an opportunity to leave and now they don't want to leave. You know, they got this mass agency called ICE that's looking for everybody that doesn't have documents, that they came here the right way, the legal way, and they want them out. So you fighting for no reason. They're going to catch you and they're going to grab you and they're going to put you in detention when you should have just left the law. I think they know they got a site out there that if you go and you register, they will pay, the government will pay, put you on the plane so that you could leave, right? Instead of going through all this hardship, getting arrested, getting on detention for a couple of months and things like that. But you're never going to get set free, and then you're never going to have a chance to come back. So I understand how is it that these few citizens of America is trying to help these immigrants to block ICE from grabbing them. You know, it's not their fight either, but they're getting underway. And that's a come we having all these people getting canceled by ICE. And ICE is not going to get charged because they within their duties of operation. If you obstruct them, you're either going to get arrested or it's going to get hostile and you're going to get canceled by them. And there's not going to be no charge filed against them. The best thing that they're going to do is suspend them or take them out of work, and he's going to have to find work somewhere else. And most of all these ICE agents are doing it because the pay is good right now. So a lot of people are joining ICE and, you know, getting deputized or whatever they want to call it into these ICE agencies to catch the illegals, and they're getting a nice, decent paycheck out of this. That's why they're doing it. So I don't understand why these white folks are getting in. You know, to me, it's all about exploitation. They was exploiting these immigrants, man, making them work. Some of them were working and was not getting paid. You know, because you pay them whatever you want. And if you say you're not going to pay them, who they're going to go to? So they work 8 hours and now you're not going to pay them. That's what it is. You know, they wanted free work, free exploitation, another group of people to come here and do work that they don't want to pay regular citizens here in America. And those people that are helping them is because it's for their own interest, right? They want these people to stay. Why? Because they could use them for cheap labor, cheap exploitation. They can't report anything because they don't have no papers and all that. Because if they really wanted you to stay here in America, they would have helped you do process to get here legally, get some paperwork done, at least a work visa so you can stay and work instead of dodging out the system, you know, and hiding and skipping from state to state. But the ICE agencies all over the country, and you know, they're grabbing anybody that looks that they don't belong. They're just gonna stop you and ask you for your credentials or whatever, even though you're not required to carry documentation here in America. As a free citizen of the country, of the state, you could walk freely. You don't need to carry documents, man. I don't carry no money, no documents. Everything's on my phone. If they like it, they can see it on the phone and cross-check it. That's it. Because if you're in the agency, it's going to pop out. You don't need no documentation to tell your name. They look it up and it's going to show up. Everybody in America that lives legally in America, their name is going to pop up in any government agency. So if you are a citizen of any country, all you got to do is give them your name, your birthday, and that's it. That's how they check. And it's going to come out that you here in America for as much time as whatever you was here, but it's gonna show up that you have some documentation that you already been here and you've been receiving whatever some government handouts or things that was entitled to you. It's gonna show up. So they can detain you for that if they already got that information. But now you're trying to resist, they're gonna pressure you more. They're gonna detain you and throw you wherever they want because you was here illegally. You should have left when you had the time. And there's other people that wanna cite a civil war, right, between these races. But the only thing is that there's no color people out there anyway in the front line trying to protect the immigrants, because we can't do anything because they here illegally. That's it. It's nothing we can do to them. The only thing we could have done to help them is advise them, get your permit, get documents and things like that. But other than that, there's nothing that an American citizen could do to help these migrants stay here. As they did it against, the law, the forced entry, or went under some border that they wasn't detected and they wasn't registered. They didn't enter legally through due process. So it's nothing that we can do. So I don't know why these white people over there trying to risk their lives to prove to the government that the people, enforces the law. It doesn't go like that, right? You're in the country to obey the laws of the land. If you break them, you're going to be charged and be fined or be subject to do time in jail, in prison. That's the way it is. People got to follow the laws of the land. And if you break them laws, you got to pay. There's consequences when you break the law. And I see other people out there saying that they got to get ready, especially these preppers. I'm sure they think that everything's going to go down, that the world's going to collapse, and they got all these ammunition. They spend more money in ammunition than food, necessities that they really need in life. They got more guns, more ammunition than they have food in their pantry. When all that runs out and you're hungry and you're going to leave, things are going to happen, especially when you're fighting against the government. The government is not going to let itself look bad or let the citizens overthrow the government. It never happened, and it was maybe in the past, but in this time of era, that's not going to happen. The government deals more tactical and thinking and military movement, right? The regular citizens, militants, and all these rebels, rebellion people that think they're going to outdo the government and overthrow it's not going to happen, because you don't have the capability, you don't have the intelligence, nothing like that. You're not trained for that type of war you're looking for, and you're not going to win. All you're going to do, you're going to be canceled, man. You're going to be a part of history that people are going to forget. And most of the time, I know these people are there because they want to be part of history. I was in the ICE riots and things like that, and rice detainment. You want to pass this legacy down to your grandchildren, that you was part of a government hostile against its citizens and things like that. But the government is not hostile against its citizens. The government is hostile at a point to people that came here illegally and stood illegally and things like that, and took advantage of government charity handouts, asylum seekers, things like that. They just took advantage of that, and they was throwing that in the people's face. That's why a lot of people was upset of that, and that's why they didn't care that the government would come down hard on them and just take them out and things like that. There's only a few people that's trying to help these immigrants, but in the wrong way, because while they were here, you wasn't helping them get the proper documents and proper permits to work or do anything. All of them was making money here for the years that they were here, and there was no deportation. They made a lot of money, and they was living large, and they was living happy, while the regular citizens from 9 to 5 were struggling. And right now, people are struggling because they can't make ends meet. And it's going to get harder. People think that the economy is going to crash, the economy is going to go down, and it's going to go back to normal, that everybody could be happy and spend as much as they want. No. Prices are going to keep on going up. Whether you like it or not, whatever things cost, you're gonna have to pay for it. Because if you steal it, you're getting arrested and things like that. It's gonna go bad on you always. The best thing to do is, you have to sacrifice. You have to pay for what you need. Cause it doesn't make no sense for you to get in trouble for a simple thing that you could have waited and purchase it a little later. It's bad, but people are doing ridiculous things that they could avoid. Even though they know they have the money, they still want to steal things that they would have purchased at that time. But what they do, they take chances and they steal and they get caught. It's not only that immigrants are not stealing, as maybe they are, but we don't know that. But the people that mostly do all the stealing are citizens themselves, because citizens, even if they got the money, they're about to keep that money and they're about to take a chance, steal something, and get caught stealing and get arrested. Anyway, people, with that, I'll let you go and you think about that.